Saint Anthony of Padua was born Fernando Martins de Boulois to a wealthy family in Lisbon, Portugal in 1195. When he was 15 years old, he joined a religious order, the Canons Regular of the Order of the Holy Cross. He was distracted by all the family members and friends who kept visiting him, so he transferred further away to the mother house in Coimbra, where he studied hard, learning theology and Latin. He was ordained a priest and was in charge of welcoming the guests who visited the abbey. Some Franciscan friars came to Coimbra, and Fernando was interested in their simple life and how they preached the gospel. In 1220, 5 Franciscans were martyred in Morocco and buried in Coimbra. Fernando was inspired by their example. He received permission to leave the order of the Canons Regular to join the Franciscans. He took the name Anthony, which is what we know him as today. Anthony set out to Morocco to preach, but got sick along the way. He was supposed to return to Portugal, but the ship ended up in Sicily. He went to Tuscany and then, because of his poor health, chose to go to a hermitage near Forlì. He spent his time in prayer and study. One day, some Dominicans came to visit the Franciscans for an ordination. The Dominicans thought a Franciscan would preach the homily at the Mass, but the Franciscans thought a Dominican would. In the end, despite his protests, Anthony gave the homily, and everyone present was very moved by his preaching. Anthony was sent to Bologna, where he met St. Francis, founder of the Franciscan order. In 1224, Francis put Anthony in charge of teaching the friars. Anthony also taught at the University of Montpellier and the University of Toulouse. Anthony later became known as the Saint of Lost Things because one day, he realized his psalm book was missing. It had been taken by a novice who had left the Franciscan order. Anthony prayed that his book would be found or returned. The novice returned the book and returned to the Franciscan order. Anthony is also known for the story of preaching to the fish. One day he was preaching, but heretics were insulting him, and so he left to go to the water. He began to preach, and a huge number of fish gathered. The people of the town crowded around to see this miracle. Anthony pointed out that the fish were more interested in listening to him than the heretics, which convinced the heretics to listen. In 1226, Anthony was put in charge of the Franciscans in northern Italy, and so he moved to Padua. Pope Gregory IX was so moved by Anthony's preaching that he asked him to write a book of his sermons. In 1231, when he was 35 years old, Anthony became sick and died. He was canonized the next year by Pope Gregory IX. Saint Anthony of Padua is recognized as a doctor of the Church because of his contribution to theology through his sermons. Saint Anthony is the patron saint of Padua and many other places. He is the patron of lost things, travelers, and lost souls. Saint Anthony of Padua, patron of lost souls, pray for us.